going on, homies? It's a windy ass day or evening. It's crazy. But we're about to go to a spot that I've been to before, but one of my favorites. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Usually I start my videos when there's horses around, but they're more back there. So I had like a phone call, so I couldn't really start it right away, but here I am. That's what matters, right? We're doing it. Oh yeah, I got new pants. Sexy, right? We got the chain, we got the camo. It's pretty sick. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna go to the spot and we're gonna talk about the third eye and stuff, you know? Oh yeah. So everything's connected, right? We're all empathic, we can feel each other and shit. Sometimes I know there's you. I know I've been there, done that, but if you're someone who, let's say you're taking a walk right now like me, right? And you just feel observed. You feel like observed. You feel kind of anxious because you feel observed. Because you're empathic. You feel the energy on you. Instead of absorbing that and being shy, nervous, whatever, here's what you gotta do. Bring the awareness to your heart and breath. And give them a show. Give the people watching a show. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're all just cameos in each other's movies. So all you gotta do is say, what's up? And do you. You know? Alright, we're here. At the spot that smells like churros for some reason. I guess someone's cooking over there in those houses some sort of cinnamon-based dessert, but it smells great, so I'm not complaining. I am complaining on how there's a bunch of fucking trash here that no one ever picks up, ever. This has been here for like 5 years. Like, I'm not kidding. It's crazy. But that's not the point of the video, huh? No. This time the point of the video is how your third eye was never meant to stay closed. Now, I'm not saying that it has to be open either, but there is a different way of reality that you go about experiencing reality once you do have that open. And it's like, not everyone's ready to have it open, so I get that, right? I'm not sitting here telling you to open your third eye, because some people are not ready. You know, some people can't handle it. You know, the ego deaths and all that. I get that. But if you're watching this video, most likely you resonate, and you've been ready. Not everyone's meant to awaken in this lifetime, in their lifetime. But most people are taught to only trust what they can physically say and hear. You know, what can be measured, what can be controlled, explained immediately with proof. The ego loves proof. If there's no proof, there's not enough scientific proof and studies, and it's bullshit. That's how our reality seems to be, right? Well, there's not a lot of proof, there's not a lot of this, not a lot of study, blah, 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 blah. All that is really your ego wanting physical, tangible evidence to be real. Just because there is no physical, tangible evidence just yet, or whatever, that your ego wants validation to be real, doesn't mean that it is not so. That is my belief. If that isn't your belief, you know, that's your prerogative. But I know deep down in my soul that there is truth to what I say, to what I say what I feel. I'm not just saying shit out of my ass, you know. I'm saying what I've learned through the spiritual work that I've done, through all the trauma, all the downloads I received through plant medicine and meditation. These are insights that I've gotten, you know. I'm not just speaking out my asshole. It may seem like it to some, but I'm not. But like, Consciousness, you gotta understand, consciousness is so much deeper than the surface perception. There's a reason so many people eventually, begin feeling disconnected from modern life. Too much noise, too much stimulation, too much distraction, pulling awareness outward constantly over and over and over again. The nervous system becomes overloaded. You feel burnt out, you feel drained. Intuition at that point then becomes harder to see. That's what the third eye has symbolized across many traditions for centuries. Not literally a magical eyeball, but expanded perception beyond what we see in the physical layer, physical reality. Beyond what we experience reality with our five senses, right? It's the ability to observe beyond surface level identity, beyond ego, beyond unconscious programming. Because most people spend their entire lives trapped in external validation, external attention, materialistic things, superficial shit, ego shit. Constantly consuming, comparing, reacting instead of reflecting, rarely observing themselves consciously, rarely sitting long enough to notice the deep layer of awareness underneath their thoughts and beliefs. That's why silence can feel uncomfortable to so many people, because silence removes that distraction. And a lot of us are so used to being distracted and so used to thinking. And without the distractions, people begin confronting themselves directly. The fears, the patterns, the beliefs, the emotional loops, the conditioning, the programming, whatever. But eventually, if someone stays present long enough, something shifts, a lot shifts. Awareness expands, you begin noticing synchronicities more, how everything's connected. You become more sensitive to energy and environments. Certain conversations begin to feel draining. Certain people begin to feel misaligned and draining. Certain habits begin feeling draining and spiritually heavy, out of alignment with who you are. Not because you became better than others, because if you think you're better, then obviously you're just making another ego out of it, where no one is better or above anyone, we're all equal, we're all one. But because consciousness became more awake, you became more aware. And the more your awareness expands, the harder it becomes to fully identify with ego again. You start realizing the mind is not always telling the truth. Fear is not always reality. Social conditioning is not the ultimate truth. The ego wants control, it wants validation. But awareness wants presence. It knows it's whole and complete without anything externally separate from it. That's why practices like meditation, plant medicine, breathwork, mindfulness, grounding in nature, exercising, anything that's connecting with the breath, fasting from constant stimulation, food, entertainment, electronics, and intentional solitude affect people so deeply. They create space. And awareness expands in that space, not noise, because underneath whatever, all the mental chaos, there's a deeper stillness already within you, the real you, a deeper consciousness observing the experience of being human, which is really what you are, right? We may be human temporarily, but you aren't human. You're not just human, you're beyond it. You're having a temporary human experience. But we identify with that so much and we think that that's all we are, but we're not, And maybe that's why awakening feels less like learning something new, but rather remembering, right? And more like remembering something ancient you always carried within you, within your DNA, within your soul. The third eye was never meant to stay closed. It was meant to help you see beyond the illusion of being only the ego and only the physical. And remember that you are the awareness beneath it all. Observing this all, Because when we forget that we are more than those labels and the identity and more than what we're experiencing reality with our five senses, we kind of become lost. We think that we have no control. We tend to have a victim mentality mindset, and we allow things to just happen instead of taking your power back. And we allow it to be blown by the wind, Oh, whatever happens, happens. And just settling and just accepting and, But you don't have to do that. You don't have to just accept. You don't have to just think that you're stuck. Even doing what I'm doing right now is so beneficial, because a lot of us just get used to the idea of going to work, coming home, watching TV, playing video games, going on the phone, scrolling, going to sleep, going to work, going to school, going home, eating, consuming, going to sleep, taking a shit, masturbating, fucking, you know what I mean? It's like, it's cool to experience all those things sometimes. You can indulge in some of those things sometimes. But if that's all of what you're doing, don't be surprised when you feel drained, when you feel sluggish, when you feel anxious and kind of depressed. You're not here just to consume and consume and consume and consume and consume, you know what I mean? Just as it may be annoying for me to keep on repeating consuming. It's like, well, okay, damn. It's the same shit for your body when you're sitting there just consuming, being a robot. Your body's like, damn, bro, this is insanity. Whoa, you know? Same shit. Be annoyed so much that you are experiencing the same shit every day. And every moment's a new moment. Every day is a new day. So the only reason you think that it is the same is because you are doing the same shit over and over again, expecting shit to change. That's true insanity. Of course you're going to feel the same emotions every day. Of course nothing's going to change if you're doing the same shit every day. Everything's connected. You begin to feel different and once you do different, you begin to even feel differently about yourself and reality once you're doing differently. Your perception is expanding beyond the norm of what you've been experiencing and the identity that you made out of what you're doing every day. Because subconsciously, when we do the same things every day, we subconsciously make an identity out of that. It's a version of us. Like, oh, this is who I am. I play video games all day. I masturbate all day. I fucking jerk off all day. I fucking whatever. You know what I mean? I watch Netflix all day. I scroll on my phone all day. That's a version of you that you're embodying, and then subconsciously you're making an identity out of it, an ego. But that's not you. You're infinite. You're always shifting into infinite different versions of the now. You create your reality. One decision you make creates a split. The multiverse, blah, blah, blah. That shit is real. You create your reality. Another version of you exists. You make one decision, boom, 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 creates a different reality. There's infinite versions of me. There's infinite versions of you. There's infinite versions of everything, of Earth, whatever. Everything is infinite. Nothing is solid. Nothing is static. Everything is energy. So if everything is energy and nothing's really solid, then everything is just shifting and shape-shifting and blah, blah, blah. It's so hard to describe with our human language. That's why I'm stumbling over my words. But the fact that there is indeed more than what we see, that you are infinite, you do create your reality, and each decision you make creates a different timeline, should be humbling enough alone for you to just want to do different, to want to choose differently and better for yourself. You don't have to choose the same reality. You don't have to choose the same results or the same beliefs. It's up to you. Do you want this to be true to yourself? Or do you want to be different and believe differently, you know? It's up to you. And a lot of people seem to love limitations. It's just how I am. I'm stuck. Blah, blah, blah. Life is just like how it is. Blah, blah, blah. They'll defend an identity that they think that they are when they're really not that. They'll defend an illness that they have that they really don't. Because they'd rather feel stuck and limited than to do the inner work and expand and go through a little rebirth or a big rebirth. Fuck it. Because they don't want... A lot of people are scared to die, right? That's why there was a quote I saw. You may wonder why there's not a lot of enlightened people on Earth. Because enlightenment is a lot like dying, and a lot of us are scared to die. But when you die, before you physically die, it's something so beautiful. Something so humbling. It's not even the right word. There's no right word that can be put to it, but it's beautiful. It's exquisite. You know, it's different. So if you're lucky enough to have been one of the ones to experience death before actually dying, then utilize that, you know? Put work in. Do it now. Because I know damn well when you're on your deathbed at 80 years old, you don't want to live with regret. So I should have done this when I was 20 years old. I should have done this and that. No. You want to be on your deathbed at an old age, whatever, and be like, damn, I accomplished so much. I'm so proud of myself. You know, have a peaceful transcendence to the next life, whatever. So that's just my little rant, my little video for today. I hope you guys have a good day in life and blah, blah, blah. And I'll be here tomorrow to make another video, and then the next day, and the next day. And I'm not stopping because I got so much shit to say. Bro, I've been doing this for like 3 years now. I ain't stopping. Nope, I'm good. Namaste, lady guys. Let's keep going with the flow of life.
We don't die, we multiply, souls synchronize. Beyond time, beyond flesh, beyond fear. I still feel your energy here. Shout out the greatest, yeah, you taught me life prospers, even in the darkness.